Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. The Entertainment Grounds Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier event.
Preliminary final day 2015 for the winner today. Newcastle City awaits next week in the grand final. Good afternoon, my name's Ryan Webster. It's Black Diamond football action brought to you by Bar TV. Joining me today is Newcastle City clubman once again, Nathan Tyman. G'day Nathan, thanks for coming along again today, mate.
Hey mate, thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it last week, so I thought I'd come back again.
A little bit of scattered weather this morning. It's been raining, a little wet underfoot here at Newcastle number 1 sports ground. However, the ground here, which is the best in our competition, has held up a treat. The sun's just poked its head out for what will be a fantastic battle this afternoon, no doubt. Terrigal Avoca Panthers, they finished the season on top of the ladder. They lost the major semi-final last week against Newcastle City. Newcastle City going through. They'll have the week off today. Killarney Vale, they beat the Warners Bay Bulldogs in an elimination final. And as we look at their team sheet come across the screen now, it was the number 4, Daniel Lloyd, the full forward spearhead, kicking at 9 goals, booting them all the way to victory. It's a pretty strong side. Looking across at some of their better players, Jackson Island, super important. You'll notice there in the number 10, the ex-Essendon champion, Mark McVeigh, is a certain starter. So he'll play today and certainly bolster their stocks. Let's have a look at the Panthers, the minor premiers and the defending premiers from 2014. Looking through that side, James Webster won his 3rd consecutive Elliott Davey medal, the best player in the league. Articles coming out through the week saying potentially the best Black Diamond footballer of all time at just the ripe old age of 23. John O'Goulet kicked the 53 goals in 2015. And what about in the number 28, the coach, Chris Bishop, runner-up in the Elliott Davey medal for the best player in the competition. An extremely well-balanced side. A little disappointing in recent weeks. They'll certainly be looking to put their best foot forward today and meet their arch rivals next week in the grand final. So the Terrigal Avoca Panthers in their white strip. Looks like they'll be going to the left of screen, taking on the Killarney Vale Bombers. Finished 3rd in 2015. Coming off a victory against Warners Bay, they'll be going to the right. And it looks like it'll be Nathan Higgins doing the ruck work for the Bombers. Young Sam Ellis in the team of the year. Just a young man, terrific first year in senior footy. Alex Bailey goes to Chris Bishop. And look at this, Daniel Lloyd starting in the middle of the ground, Nathan.
Interesting decision, but I guess to, mix play up a bit. We are finals time. You don't want to necessarily be too predictable.
Massive move, that one. So he's playing on good mate James Webster, 2 of the great players of the competition. Just repeating, you can see it in the middle of your screen. Webster up against Daniel Lloyd, so that'll be a great contest. Killarney Vale go to the right. It's preliminary final time at Newcastle number 1. They force an even battle. It goes straight down to Webster and he drives them into attack looking for Goulet. Couldn't take clean possession straight away. He'll go in again. Barrett kicked off the ground. Coming in through hard was Daniel Lloyd, who started in the midfield. Down there's Bailey. And they scrub a little kick out to our broadcast side. It'll be the skipper, Jason Van Dam. Also there is Young for Killarney Vale. Boundary throw-in. That's a really interesting ploy by Killarney Vale to put Daniel Lloyd, the goal-kicking champ, into the middle of the ground. As mentioned earlier, he kicked 9 last week. Starts in the middle. Boundary throw-in. Bailey, Alex Bailey. Strong tackle by Josh Polglaze. They'll see him over the line. They look right up and about both sides. Daniel Lloyd was third man up, just tapped it to no one in particular. Bishop couldn't take clean possession. Went off the ground. It's wet conditions. It's pretty muddy out on this broadcast side, as mentioned earlier. Barrett's in there for the Bombers, and out the back is Webster again. Sells a little bit of candy. Went with the left-handed handball to no one in particular. It was intended for Damon Smith, but went under his legs. Down there's Miffs it into the side. It was a good, strong bump by Damon Smith. Castelnuovo goes in. Umpire will have it. Boundary throw up in the middle of the ground. Division 1 just played prior to this. That'll see Terrigal Avoca take on Newcastle City next week in a grand final. That's Division 1, the reserve division. And that's a high tackle there going to Daniel Lloyd. So starting in the midfield, we've mentioned it a few times. Beautiful kick of the footy, and he goes to centre half forward. It's a lovely pass, but the punch was timed to perfection from Jimmy Hart there in front of Sinclair, who started forward. Richardson back to Jared Flint. He generally kicks the ball pretty long. He lowers the eyes on this occasion, and it's strong hands there to the veteran in Peter Van Dam. Balk to go to Webster. Decided to kick longer to the John O'Goulet direction, and why wouldn't you? Kick just dropped a little bit short. Down there's Mark McVeigh. It's a good tackle from Goulet. Umpire said he'll have it. He's going to ball that up. Potentially a little bit premature there, but umpire will have it. Just 2 minutes played here, Nathan. Good start.
Yeah, great start. Great start to a good game of footy. Really looking forward to it.
Look at Daniel Lloyd just bust through the pack. Could have been in the back. That's a good decision. He'll get another one. He's not going to get it. Is that for an incorrect disposal, potentially? Anyway,
He pinned him for holding the ball.
Holding the ball. Don't know about that. Used the body beautifully to James Hart. He'll get there first. Couldn't take clean possession. And now a high tackle's going to go his way, much to the displeasure of the Killarney Vale crowd. So Hart. Half-forward flank here for the Panthers. He's going to drive them forward. Just bombs it up to the top of the goal square. It's going to be hard to grab in these conditions. Goes over the back to Goulet. Missed it to the left-hand side. First score of the day is a behind to the Panthers.
Yeah, good piece of play there. Just went long. Good reflexes from Polglaze there, but unfortunately, kick was smothered.
Grand final position on the line. That kick just missed its target down there. It was from Brendan Lewis. Ball's going to go out of play. A little bit sloppy there from Killarney Vale. The kick missed Edwards. Boundary throw in again. Uncontested with Higgins. Castelnuovo with the left boot just to the middle of the ground. Numbers with the Panthers. Good talk there by Jared Flint. Ended up taking an uncontested mark in the middle of the ground. He's going to go out pretty wide. Target, I think, might be Billings. But chopping in there was the veteran Drano Amity. Got to his left foot. Kicked out to the far wing looking for Ireland. So Ireland took clean possession. He's a great footballer, Ireland. Got a free kick for a high tackle. Not necessarily that one was... Sure, that one was there either. They're pretty quick with the whistle umpires early. Amity. It was a good kick from Ireland. Hit Amity at full stretch. Centre half forward here for the Bombers. They're yet to go inside 50. They do now. Looking for Lloyd, who's got forward. Great work ethic, Daniel Lloyd. He's been in the middle. He's been up the back. He runs around now, the champ. A little bit of a low kick on that occasion. Got the footy back, chipped it back inside. A little bit untidy. Amity's there. Tackled. Webster takes possession. Fell over. Went for Van Dam. Castelnuovo went harder and went hard to the ground. He's going to get a free kick for a high tackle again. They're red hot with the whistle, Nathan.
Yeah, red hot. Calling play early as long as they're consistent.
So Brendan Lewis, the skipper.
Played well as a goalkeeper last week.
Yeah, fantastic footballer is Lewis. Just goes with a little chip, a little bit short, but Barrett made it look good. So Ryan Barrett. He's just going to go back and kick it long. So he drives it to the top of the goal square. It was punched back in there by Josh Polglaze. Amity will get there first. Did he kick that one out on the full? Umpire said no. Boundary throw in.
That was a decent kick of a wet footy, and Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports the BDAFL.
Boundary throw in here, opening stage of the preliminary final. Going off the ground down there. Might have been Higgins. It was Sinclair, in fact, Sean Sinclair. First goal of the day goes to Killarney Vale. And early on here at number 1, it's 1 straight goal, 6. The Bombers leading Terrigal Avoca 0 goals, 1 behind, 1 point.
Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
6 plays 1 here. Early stages of the prelim final. Winner to play Newcastle City next week in the Granny. Ball up again in the centre of the ground. This time it's Harper. A decisive win down to Webster, who was tackled immediately. He'll get worn like a glove today. Bishop, little underground handball back to Webster, who handballed it to no one in particular. Ended up with Mark McVeigh. Brendan Lewis now with the left foot kick to the middle of the ground. It was dropped by Polglaze. Players sliding in from both sides. Umpire's going to have it, ball up.
It's shaping to be a real good game of footy, this.
Pretty warm conditions, probably low 20s. A little bit of rain throughout the day. It's a little wet underfoot. Still a very hard surface in the middle of number 1 sports ground. As O'Brien gives it off to Coach Bishop. He goes to centre half forward looking for Billins. Billins did well, just put the right mid out there. Corbin Bond went hard. Playing against his old side today is Bond. Corbin Bond in the number 22 for Terrigal Avoca. Played for the opposing side in last year's grand final loss. Darling, a handy big man to have forward today for the Panthers. Little tap over the top. Handball went back for Bishop, going through his Barrett. Left foot kick off the ground. Beat Van Dam and Jackson Island down there. Look at Van Dam, a fantastic centre-half back, best in the league. And look at that kick from Jason. Centimetre perfect, hits the hard man, Gavin Kirkman. The kick wasn't great from Kirkman. Getting there first is Lenson. Couldn't get the handball out the back. You can see the players a little bit fumbly in the wet conditions. Umpire Darryl Luck's going to have it half-forward flank here for Terrigal Avoca.
Real greasy conditions out there. It was very wet and slippery out there this morning, and that rain hasn't made it any better.
Already a couple of games. This not almost the premier event, actually. We've got the women's grand final coming to you live after this prelim. That's going to be fought between Nelson Bay and Newcastle City in the Women's League. Should be a cracking game, that one also. So another boundary throw in. Third man up on that occasion was Wildford. Came down to Castelnuovo, who broke a tackle. Gets on his left side now and kicks to centre half forward. Jay Lewis read it the best. Playing a little loose off half back. Lewis goes to drill the footy but missed the target. It hurt them a few times last week. Now Zara goes out a little further wide.
It's Mark McVeigh.
And so McVeigh, a prestigious kick of the footy. Left-footed kick of the footy. Giving all the indications he's going to have a shot. So the old Essendon champ, he'll kick from right on the paint. It's got the distance. Does it have the accuracy? It doesn't. Misses to the near side there from McVeigh. So 7 playing 1 here, early stages of the prelim final. Just a poor kick from Jay Lewis.
Yeah,
switch up into the middle of the ground. Didn't hit the target. He's got the footy again here, Lewis. So Jay Lewis kicks up the middle. That one's missed the target, although on that occasion Bond didn't give him a hand, slipping over at the crucial time. It's Mumford. Mumford kicks it into the hot spot. Going up high was Harper. It was a great punch from the ruckman come backman. Very well timed, Nathan.
Yep, Killarney Vale with all the attacking momentum at the moment, just not being able to put on that scoreboard pressure.
So boundary throwing deep forward down there for the Bombers. Van Dam for the Panthers was uncontested. Already seen that a few times today. Damon Smith goes through. Handballs off to his coach. He went for Corbin Bond, who was a little flat-footed. Tom Mumford there will take it over the boundary line. Wednesday night hosted the Elliott Davey Medal, which saw the team of the year being awarded anyway. Coming through, I think, might have been Higgins on that occasion, the ruckman, kicking another behind there for the Bombers. Saw the team of the year. It was dominated by Terrigal Avoca and Newcastle City players. The skipper of Killarney Vale, Brendan Lewis, being named in the back line. For me, one of the best players of the year. Didn't poll overly well in the Elliott Davey Medal. Richardson. He's going to go straight up the middle of the ground looking for Hart. Goes back with the flight. Did really well, Hart. Webster was clean. Couldn't get the handball away. Well tackled. Down in there is Mifsud back into side today, who was injured earlier. Good handball out there by Ellis. It's a hot footy. Zara. Back to Brendan Lewis. Beg your pardon down there. It's Debnam. Debnam gets the footy back. Just missed the handball. It's a slippery footy. Down there's Sarich. Kirkman tackled hard again. Debnam goes in once more. It's a hot footy. It's a final. Umpire's going to have it half-forward flank here for Killarney Vale.
Both teams hard at the footy. Great start.
Going up high was Ellis. It was a convincing tap. Ends up coming down to Webster. Couldn't take possession. Debenham could. On ground level, however, Jason Van Dam was hard. Sinclair, the goal kicker, just bombs it into half-forward. Damon Smith stuck out the boot. Kirkman took possession, but was heavily tackled by Sinclair. Down there's Walford. Missed the handball, though. Back to Debenham. Another boundary throw-in, so 8 playing 1 here as Webster comes for a spell. Sam O'Brien will go into the midfield. Lenson down there up against Ellis. Good tap by Ellis down to Kirkman. Was that taken high? Play on the call. Grimman, the young gun, only as far as Barrett. Barrett just bashes it back in. It was royal red by Damon Smith. Handball into centre half, back to Flint. Just backed his pace now with Richardson. He's on the wrong side for a left footer. Inside out torpedo. Well read there by Brad Edwards. And Edwards at fullback for Killarney Vale takes the diving chest mark. Goes up the middle of the ground. It's a good kick. Sinclair there. Now Bailey. Centre wing for the Bombers. Just chips it into centre half forward. Good contest of players. Ireland couldn't take the mark. Going in hard was Grimond. Ball held to him. Really good start, Nathan. 12 minutes in, as you'd expect. It's tight and it's tough.
Yeah, tight, tough footy, as you said, as you would expect. Just Killarney Vale just need to put a bit of scoreboard pressure on, and it'll
and
be
this man's
a
the man
better
for the
start.
job, Daniel Lloyd. Mentioned it a couple of times already. He started in the middle of the ground, manning up on Webster. Now he goes forward. Certainly would have probably confused the Terrigal guys a little bit. I'm sure Hart or Polglaze would have expected to go to him straight away. Anyway, quick kick came out. Might have gone out on the full by the Killarney Vale player, and it's going to be a free kick to Terrigal Avoca deep fullback. Terrigal Avoca were undefeated going into the last home and away match. They were beaten then by Newcastle City. Went through the season 15 wins, 1 loss. Then they played Newcastle City again and were beaten by 4 goals last week. So back-to-back losses. The last time Terrigal Avoca had back-to-back losses, I don't have it in front of me, but I dare say it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. Flint, little chip over the top. Webster wasn't off the ground for long, the Elliot Davey medalist. At 23 years of age, he's won 3 of them consecutively. Unprecedented. Jay Lewis has got it. He played on, said the umpire. Chipped inside. It was a clever kick from Lewis. And found the youngster, Jacob Jackson, who's going to line them up. He'll have to kick it from about 52 metres, Nathan.
Yeah, no, we'll have to kick it just beyond the paint.
Loves the runway, does Nathan Tyman. Loves talking them down it.
And with a wet footy, we'll have to kick the leather off this one. It's a nice looking kick off the boot, and it's just missed to the far side.
So behind there to Terrigal Avoca. That takes their score to 2.
Have an interesting stat for you, Ryan.
Oh, I love these.
If I mentioned May 1st, 2010, could you tell me what happened on that day?
May 1st, 2010. Was I playing?
I'm not sure.
What was it?
That was the last time that Killarney Vale beat Terrigal Avoca in the Black Diamond Cup.
May 1st, 2010. So 5.5 years since Killarney Vale have defeated the Terrigal Panthers. Local enemies. Jay Lewis put his head over the footy. Crunched one of the Killarney Vale opponents just moments ago, and was good to see him put his head over the footy on that occasion. Into the middle of the ground. Once again, it's a risky kick. It was well done there by Brandon Sarich, who comes into the side this week. Aidan Warren dislocated his elbow last week against Newcastle City, so well done to Bunja Sarich. Comes into the side, goes to centre half forward. Going back with the flight was Jackson. In there also is Grimmond. Down there is Mumford. Ended up coming back to the Terrigal player. I couldn't see who it was. Darling's in there. Jackson's in there again. In there's Emity for the Bombers. Took clean possession. Good pressure, Killarney Vale. They're holding up strong. Newcastle City held Terrigal Avoca goalless last week in the first term. Darling, too big. Gave the handball over the top to Grimmond. Corbin Bond's the only one home, playing on Shackleton. And it's another behind there to the Panthers. So 8 plays 3 here, early stages. First quarter at number 1 Sports Ground.
With this little bit of rain that we've had, goals could be crucial in this game. So if both sides want to get off to a good start, they'd want to pull their finger out.
Yeah, certainly you'd expect it to be a low-scoring affair. Could have turned it over there, Billins. The kick, however, just went to no one in particular. So Jason Van Dam now, he's going to switch up play looking for his brother. He couldn't hit the target. Over there for the Bombers is Zara. But getting there first will be Tom Mumford. Does he take possession? He does pretty well, does Mumford. Loved his year also. Just threw it on the left boot. It wasn't a great kick. Only went the best part of 8 metres. And Peter Van Dam, 10 years, I should say, he's been playing rep footy. Peter Van Dam, he'd dearly love a third premiership to go with his other career accolades. Bishop, clever handball, looked for Billins. Couldn't hit the target. Killarney Vale go forward. Was well read by Flint. Emity tried to work him under the footy. Little scrubby kick forward, but Jackson Island, still at his ripe old age, wins plenty of the footy. One of the most classy footballers in the competition. Wasn't great on that occasion. Sam O'Brien drives them forward for the Panthers. Good contest this one. Got hands to it. Down there was Goulet, who had a pretty quiet week by his standards last week. Goes in hard again as Jono did superbly. Goulet gave it back to Grimmond. Missed it to the near side. Terrigal Avoca peppering the behind posts. Takes them to 3 solitary behinds, Nathan.
Yeah, no, inaccurate kicking could come back to haunt them.
So just a 5-point margin at this stage. Thanks a lot to Bar TV for putting on the production. We're streaming live around the world. Brendan Lewis drives them out to our broadcast side. Down there is Ellis through the left hand up. He might get there back again, the young athletic ruckman. Jay Lewis has got a little bit of time. Drilled a pass to Webster. Did he mark it after the siren? I think he might have. Throws it back to the umpire. And that's quarter time here at number 1 Sports Ground in the prelim final. Killarney Vale with the only goal. 1 goal, 2 behinds, 8 points. Terrigal Avoca, just the 3 behinds. That quarter going for 17 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just looking at. Normally it's 20-minute quarters. So we're not sure what's happened there.
We think we've got the clock correct. Certainly a very short quarter. Anyway, 17 minutes, 27 seconds. You can see the time stopped there. We'll be back with second quarter action shortly.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. The Entertainment Grounds Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse riding. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Macua Coinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort. Macua Coinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax or play and stay. Pullman Resorts Magenta Shores Resort. Pullman Magenta Shores Resort has 5-star resort-style amenities that make the most of our oceanfront setting and has been designed to offer the Central Coast travellers everything required for a productive Central Coast business trip, an unforgettable family vacation, or a relaxing weekend getaway. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Bar TV. Bar TV brings local grassroots sports and events to your internet screen or a pub and club near you.
car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is car 33, I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Second quarter action from number 1 Sports Ground here. Killarney Vale leading 8-3 after a 17-minute, 27-second quarter there.
Yeah, a little short. Don't know what happened with that, but all you can do is play the siren, play the whistle, so we keep going.
So away we go again here. It's going to be Harper up against Lenson, I think that is there for Killarney Vale. So just a 5-point lead here to the Bombers. Good tap over the top there. Little one came down to Webster. Amity was tackled off the footy. Going through hard was Peter Van Dam. Amity now scrubs a left foot kick forward. Getting there first will be Jay Lewis. Couldn't take clean possession. Putting his head over the footy was Harper, but going through strong down there was Young for the Bombers. Did pretty well. Ends up with Sam O'Brien, who just scrubbers a kick to centre half forward. Jackson's there. Barrett. And now the umpire will have it in the centre square.
It's great to see that ferocity is continuing in this second quarter.
Harper now up against Lenson once more. Gets it back down to O'Brien, who's having a little bit of influence on the match, but it was well read by the veteran in Shackleton, who played on immediately. Went for the handball over the top to Mumford. Did pretty well as Mumford. He's a good footballer. Kicks it now. It's only a couple of kicks here at Newcastle number 1 before you're attacking again. Well done to Castelnuovo and also the tackler Van Dam, Jason. Umpire will have it once more. That's going to be a ball up on the far wing here at number 1. Wet conditions, grass fairly long. Players still struggling to get their footing on all occasions. Comes down to Walford. Strong tackle by Richardson. Amity. No easy footy. Mark McVeigh will take possession, but he's tackled immediately. Breaks it though. Breaks the tackle there of Billins and has enough time to get onto his left side and go to centre half forward. Worked under the footy there was Flint. It was well done by Killarney Vale and Daly. Brendan Lewis just doubles back and now he's forced a handball. Getting there first will be Grimm and he couldn't take clean possession. Daly's there. Lewis kept his feet, but well done to his namesake Jay for the opposition. Richardson now. He's going to go into the middle of the ground. This kick has to be good. It's not a smart one. They force a draw there, the two players, Billins and Bailey. Going in is Harper. Also McVeigh. Lenson just kicks it straight up in the air. Will this be play on? Has it gone the 15 metres? Play on's been the call. Van Dam touched off the boot. Alex Bailey pulled well in the Elliot Davey. Kicking it out of the air was Lenson. Terrigal Avoca are going to get a free kick there for holding the ball. The umpire's been red hot on that. Sarich. Little chip over the top to Sam O'Brien. He's got it on centre wing. Already had a fair bit of the footy as Sam O'Brien. Drives it to centre half forward looking for Darling. It was well read by Barrett. Beat both of them. Barrett went off the ground. Just kicked it back into the hot spot. Now it's at centre half forward. Getting there first will be Harper. Little handball back to Bishop. Now on the left side looking for Webster. Getting there first will be White, the paceman. Darling. Handball over the top to Webster. On the right boot, the Elliot. Gee, had a handball over the top. Could have given it to Goulet. Elected to kick. A little bit wasteful in front of goals of the Panthers, and it's 8 playing 4.
Yeah, and I had the better option in just going over the top and decided to kick himself.
The kick was long from Edwards, and it was a pretty good mark. I think they might have paid in the end out there on the far side to Sinclair, the goal kicker. The only goal kicker thus far in this preliminary final. He's out of hands in the back. I think it should be. And it is. Got to go the way of Walford. Good crowd in today at number 1 Sports Ground. A real carnival atmosphere for finals. Walford goes into centre half forward. It's a lovely kick.
Lloyd continuing where he left off last week. Just a beautiful lead up, straight up the middle of the ground. Was put on his chest.
Saw him take one of the marks of the year pretty much in that exact position last week. You'd think with the wet footy, it's wet underfoot. It's going to take his best effort if he's going to convert from here. So Daniel Lloyd, scholarship holder as a junior with the Western Bulldogs. A beautiful kick of the Sharon. He loads up. Has it got the legs? I think it does. It's a magnificent kick for Lloyd. Killarney Vale second, his first. And they're out to a slight but comfortable lead in low-scoring conditions.
Yeah, no. It was an absolutely great kick there from Lloyd. And in 2015, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights live and free. Prime 7's coverage includes 4 games every round on 7 Mate, including the marquee Friday and Saturday night matches. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team. And of course, they'll have the finals and the Brownlow medal coming up too, which is really exciting.
Terrific stuff. So a 10-point lead here to the Bombers. Harper, a little ruck contest over the top. Strong tackle on Sinclair by Kirkman. Good tackling all over the park. Daniel Lloyd, doesn't it help having a player who can go back from 55 metres and kick the ball,
but also head into the midfield and win his own footy.
Yeah, exactly right. Good tap there by the young ruckman Lenson. Van Dam goes forward looking for Jackson over the top. White! Strong hands, man in front, Jacob Jackson. So he's been called to play on. Did he go off his mark? He just kicked it to Bishop. Anyway, play on the call. Jackson ended up handballing it to the opposition. Then he dropped it. So a little bit of a comedy of errors here. I don't know if that was play on though, Nathan. Did Jackson go off his line?
It didn't look like he did.
Eventually ends up with Billins. Barrett tackled strongly there by Alexander White. Yeah, being called to play on. He balked to kick the footy, but I'm not convinced he went off his line. Anyway, umpire has it back again. Van Dam uncontested. Bishop's winning plenty of the footy, as is that man Peter Van Dam. Tackled by Mumford. Liked his start. Terrigal Avoca still searching for their first goal. They were held goalless last week by Newcastle City. It's different conditions today in the wet. It's tight and it's tough. Paying a high tackle there. Had to go back behind the mark. Peter Van Dam playing from behind. Gives away a free kick there to Higgins. So Higgins out to centre wing. Mumford got his name written all over it. It was well done there to Corbin Bond. Kicked his eyes on the footy. It was well done, Corbin Bond. Now Richardson gives it back to Webster. Got a little bit of time, does Webster. Handballed it to Goulet. Left-handed handball over the top was for Van Dam. Are they overusing it a little bit, Terrigal Avoca? They may have, but they'll get a free kick here. Going on with it a bit too long with Sean Sinclair. No, it wasn't actually. It's going to go to Peter Van Dam, probably for the same reason. As he turns around and hits Goulet. Stuck the one arm out there. And if there's a question mark on the gun full forwards game, it's probably his set shot kicking for goal. Beautiful hands, terrific tackler. His set shots do let him down from time to time, but a terrific footballer is Goulet.
Yeah, no, I had a few shots in the game last week against Newcastle City, and didn't convert many. So I guess he'll be looking to kick this one and get off to a good start as he walks down the runway. Takes a couple of little stutter steps, and it just misses to the far side.
So misses it to the left out there. Another behind to the Panthers. So 5 plays 14. Yet to kick a major. Well done to Alistair Richardson. Read it beautifully. Went up the middle of the ground. They're winning their fair share of footy of the Panthers. Just not capitalising at this stage. And it's a very congested, I should say, forward line. So Richardson played a lot of footy in Sydney. Premiership player from last year. Loads up with the left boot. It's going to drop well short. Dropping the chest up with White. Going through hard was Goulet. Wants another chance. Billins is in there. Rushing to the behind will be Mumford. It was well done to him. So 6 straight behinds now. Plays 14 for Killarney Vale. And away goes Cartwright through centre half back. Play on was the call. Down there's Bishop. Looks up at the big ones. Van Dam. Good punch over the back. Ball still in play. Getting there first will be White. He's being warned by Lewis. Van Dam. Left foot snap kick. Another behind. So 7 behinds now to Terrigal. Will this come back to haunt them? There's a bomber down in the pocket. Can't say who that is. It might be the skipper, actually.
So players stopped. So the Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. The Herald's reporting and commentary leads public debate in the region, and its coverage of local issues from business and politics through to sport and entertainment is second to none. The Newcastle Herald, the voice of the hunter in print, online and on your mobile. BLK, the official apparel supplier of the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. An exclusive on-field apparel supplier to the Black Diamond AFL. BLK, beyond limits known.
So Killarney Vale player down here. He's the skipper, Brendan Lewis. And he's going to come from the ground. He stayed down for probably a minute and a half. He seems to be walking okay. It might be an arm or shoulder injury. So he's going to come from the ground. That'll be interesting to watch his progress.
Yeah, it was an integral part in Killarney Vale's win last week over Warners Bay. So you'd hope that he wasn't off for too long because he's general down back.
Does the kicking in duties, wins a lot of his own footy. He's a great footballer. So they're going to be forced to kick it in here, and it's going to be Edwards to do it for the Bombers. Goes with a little chip, but once again, it's risky. Ireland made them look very good. There aren't too many blokes that would mark that with traffic coming.
Strong hands.
Ireland is one of them. So Jackson Ireland now kicks out to the far wing. Looking for Amity and Walford. Couldn't take the grab down there. Walford did well. I beg your pardon, McVeigh. Tackled from behind now by Webster. Play on is the call. Gets it back to Webster from Richardson. He's going to switch it up and go for Ellis. Ellis has got the footy. He's going to drill it in there for O'Brien. Pretty poor kick. Van Dam was good enough. Just tapped it over to O'Brien. Solid bump from Higgins. Tackled down there was McLean. Jeff McLean in his first starts. Bishop sold a little bit of candy. Going back now looking for White. Well done. Well done, Brad Edwards. Sensational mark running back with the flight. Looked it out here for Mumford. Play of the day thus far. Mumford's away out on centre wing. That's a good kick also. Finds Daly, who was very impressive last week for the Bombers. Who's he got up there now? Daniel Lloyd's one out. It's going to go over the back for him. Josh Polglaze, no one got a hand to it. Little punch come over the top looking for Lloyd. Play on the call. Does it go over the line? It does. Behind to Killarney Vale. Really good passage to play that. Loved the way Edwards backed himself. Took the chest mark up against the bigger man in white. Did superbly. So Bishop. Beg your pardon, Richardson. Chipped inside to Webster. So they're running now Terrigal Avoca, and it'll be Alistair Richardson. This is what they lacked last week against the Blues. Richardson's kick is for Jackson. He's up against Shackleton. Shackleton happy to see that one go over the boundary line. So certainly at the moment, the skill level hasn't been up to the standard the Panthers would like it at. We know it is a little bit wet.
Yeah, a little bit wet, a little bit slippery underfoot.
But going forward, they're just putting the numbers back Killarney Vale, and when they're going forward, they're looking okay. Bishop just kicked it out of the air with the left boot. I'm not sure it's gone 15. It'll be play on anywhere. It was touched off hand. Jackson's been in everything, as is Goulet. Little handball over the top. Debnam just dropped the footy. He's out holding the ball. No prior opportunity. They just surge it forward, the Panthers. Grimond went for the grubber kick. Gus is massive. Bends down and picks it up. Did well, big darling. Fumbled it over the boundary line. They surge the ball forward, the Panthers. They do it pretty well. And they might get another chance here with a boundary throw in. It's going to be a deep one. Van Dam, little tap into the hotspot. Bishop's been everywhere so far. Handball back to Webster. Goes forward. Richardson's been in everything. Chips it out even further. Kirkman's got it. Half forward flank. Won't be able to kick the distance from there. There's probably a slight breeze going towards Killarney Vale's end. Certainly too far out to score. So Kirkman, the numbers are back for Killarney Vale. They've got a lot of players sitting behind the footy. He lowers his eyes, Kirkman. Van Dam, he's still going to be too far out to score from there. Yet to put a goal on the board are the Panthers. They're 8 behinds here in the second quarter. Goes for Bishop. Even that distance in this breeze might test him. He's going to chip it. Goes for Grimond. Well worked, Panthers. Best passage of play for them for the day. They didn't rush it. It was the skill level of Kirkman and Bishop. And now the emphasis on Jack Grimond.
That's exactly right. Just those short little chips, not rushing it.
Kicks the first goal of the day for Grimond and the first for the Panthers. They're on the ball. It's board. It's a 1-point ball game here at number 1. 15 plays 14.
Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. For all the latest news and promotions, visit 16s.com.au or find them on Facebook.
Terrigal probably having more of the footy, not capitalising at the moment. It's a very even ball game. It'll be Higgins up against Harper. Midfield battle probably going the way of the Panthers early. Coming through hard was Kirkman. Went for the little tap back to O'Brien, who's been one of the best players thus far. Now back to Lewis. Looked for a handball to Webster, who was clean. Just scooped it up with the right boot. Now comes out to this far wing. Kicks it into space, and it's a good kick for White. Clever tap down to Flint. Flint does well, but it just had to handball it back. In there was Mifsud. White went off the ground again. In there is Bailey. Can't take clean possession. Well done, Alexander White. Great battle there. Terrific play. Wins the battle there for the Panthers. They'll get another throw in at half forward.
Terrific play, outnumbered 4-1 and just got that ball moving forward. That's all you need to do in this wet weather footy.
Boundary throw in once again. They contest. Terrigal with a lot of ruckman on that occasion. Castelnuovo lays the tackle. Darryl Luck's going to have it. Love the way Darryl Luck umpires. Lets the game flow. Certainly my favourite umpire in the competition, if I'm allowed to have one anyway. Going through Harts Jackson. He's been everywhere. O'Brien throws it on the boot. Does that go through? It does. Terrigal on a bit of a roll here. Semi O'Brien. He's already had probably the 10 possessions. Kicks his first for the day. Terrigal Avoca hit the front.
GE Industrial Solutions, partnering the mining community in the Hunter for the past 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers.
GE Industrial, the major sponsor of the women's competition. Women's grand final will be coming up straight after this match. It'll be Nelson Bay taking on Newcastle City.
Should be a great game, that.
My word. So Terrigal Avoca now, they're out to a 5-point lead after kicking 8 straight behinds. Harper wins another ruck contest. Punched forward again by the ruckman. Just clean bowls everyone. Well read by Shackleton. Just waited back. Josh Polglaze playing in front. Well done, Polglaze. Down there in front of Young. But he handballed it back. Is that holding? It's going to be a high tackle. Fortuitous there for Terrigal Avoca. So Jay Lewis, he drills into the middle of the ground. Misses another one of those kicks. That'll make the blood boil of Bishop. That one misses also from Castelnuovo and Ellis. Beg your pardon, it is Flint. So Jared Flint goes out further for his skipper, Van Dam, one of the best leaders in the competition. Goes long for Goulet. Well done, Jono Goulet.
Great use of the body there.
Yeah, just put the backside into Edwards down there. Probably about 6'3", Jono Goulet had a good height advantage. Webster leads for him, but put the ball under your arm, son. Jono Goulet is one of those players, if he gets his confidence up, he could easily bag 6 or 7 goals. Missed his last kick to the left, did he, Nathan? So he goes back this time, Goulet. It's a much better kick. Does it have the legs? It doesn't. Drops short. Darling's there. Ball ends up going through for a behind. So now out to a straight kick lead. It's 6 points the margin.
The wind must be swirling out there because sitting in the commentary box here, it seems to be that the wind is coming towards us, but that seemed to go away from us.
So Barrett. Oh, he's gone over the line. The Cardinal sin. I don't know why you'd even get close to it. Anyway, he's gone over the line on the kick in. It's going to be a ball up here just about into time on in the second term. All the momentum with the Panthers. They tap it back. Sinclair's there. Tackled immediately. Van Dam threw it on the left boot. It'll go through for a behind. So they'll get another crack at it here. In fact, it will be the same player. It'll be Barrett doing the kicking in. You'd think he'd probably get a metre behind the line now. Why risk it? Barrett goes long. Going back with the flight. Did it pretty well. Darling just threw it on the boot. Clever play, and Peter Van Dam takes a chest mark down there in front of Edwards.
That was a very good kick off balance there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now gives a chance. Gets a chance to kick the Panthers 13 points ahead here. Just about to head into a time on in the second term. Van Dam, bit of a helicopter. Kicks the goal. His first for the day. Panthers are away.
The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse racing.
Entertainment Grounds came on halfway through the year as a sponsor. Certainly now, Killarney Vale, they need to respond. They put McVeigh into the middle of the ground. It'll be Lenson to do the ruck work. He'll be up against Harper, and the goal kicker, Peter Van Dam, goes into the middle. So umpire Luck throws it up. Another convincing tap over the top there by Van Dam. Webster was clean, gave it back to O'Brien. They go forward again, the Panthers. Few tools down there. Corbin Bond was the crummer. Did really well, Bond. Handball back to Bishop, who's a left footer. So's this man, Kirkman. Gets onto his left side. He only really half hits it. And Brad Edwards marks it over the line. It's going to be behind. So 28 now plays 15. Gee, he was very cool under pressure down there, Edwards. Kicked it out to Shackleton. Further kick wide to Alex Bailey, who polled pretty well in the Elliot Davey. Believe he finished in the top 10. Kick was out there looking for Ireland. Did superbly, Jackson Ireland. Tries to get around Jason Van Dam. Gets onto his right side now and kicks it to centre half forward. But all the numbers here with the Panthers. Mark McVeigh might get there first. Ended up sliding past it, or did something to give it to Castelnuovo. Did really well. Good punch there by Damon Smith over the top of Daly. Boundary throw in, Ellis there uncontested. Jason Van Dam just throws it on the boot, rolls towards the boundary line. Umpire's going to have it. Winner to take on Newcastle City. They were clinical last week against the Panthers. A 4-goal victory. They'll no doubt go in favourites next week in the big one. But a grand final spot on the line for the winner today. Players dive in on top of it. Very scrappy match as you'd expect. They dropped back so well, the stingy defence of the Panthers. Was that in the back? Play on was the call by Paul Glaze. Umpire's going to have it once more. Forward pressure are all important here for Killarney Vale. They can't afford the Panthers backline to get their running game going, the same as Newcastle City did last week, courtesy of Baker and Rawnsley. Jason Van Dam once again starting to win his own footy. He's kicked that one out on the full, however. And it looks like it might be McVeigh to take the footy at half forward. Bit being said there between Ireland and Van Dam.
As we stated in the first quarter, Killarney Vale had all that forward momentum and just couldn't put the scoreboard pressure on. Terrigal, Avoca kicked the last couple of goals and they're ahead. And it's very hard to stop momentum in footy.
So he goes forward as McVeigh. Big pack of players. Barrett got hands to it. And that man again, Jason Van, wants to use it a little bit better this time. Kirkman went to ground. Went out for Sam O'Brien, who's had heaps of the footy. Just taps it out to no one in particular. Webster was there. Handball back to Polglaze in the green boots. Josh Polglaze is a terrible kick. Dropped short down there as Sinclair. It might have been Higgins. Players dive on the footy. Eventually comes out, punch forward, and they're out here, the Panthers, through Grimmin and Peter Van Dam. They kick it to space to no one in particular. It'll be Brad Edwards. If this finds touch, it'll be a great kick. It won't, however. Edwards, handballs back inside for Shackleton. Shackleton, little chip ball is good enough. So they might switch play. They do. They kick it straight up in the air. It's good enough, however. It hits Bailey. He's going to kick it out to our broadcast side looking for Walford. Straight through the hands there of Kyle Walford. Jared Flint will get there. Couldn't take clean possession. Will it go out of play? It will. 22 minutes played here. Second term into time on. After jumping them, Killarney Vale. They haven't scored in the last 15 minutes. Terrigal Avoca with 2 goals here in this quarter. Shallow throw in. O'Brien will get there first. Just taps the ball back. It was pretty well done there. Flint breaks the tackle a little too easily. Goes down there looking for Grimmond. He'll let it bounce. Will Grimmond. Is that in the back? Play on is the call. Mifsud switches into the middle of the ground. It's a beautiful kick. Emity's away. He goes for the middle, but he misses the target there. McLean. Richardson's on the right side for a left footer. Has ample time. It's a lovely kick over the top for Bond. Or Grimmin, take your pick. Grimmin gets there first. Goal to Grimmin. Goal to the Panthers. A little bit of breathing space. Grimmin kicks his second.
Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. They are also proud sports supporters of the Black Diamond AFL.
Just around the clearances on the outside, they're looking a little bit crisper. The Panthers, they've got the good runners and good vision on that occasion to get it over the top. They had Bond and Grimmin. It was take your pick. In the end, it was Jack Grimmin who basically had the open goal and comes for a well-deserved break.
Terrigal a bit cleaner with their skills below their knees, so definitely getting on top in this one.
They've met a few times throughout season 2015, an average winning margin of 10 goals for the Panthers, so they're certainly up against it. Killarney Vale already trail by 20 points on the shades of half-time. Would desperately need a goal going into the long break. They go up again. It's been all one-way traffic in the ruck there, courtesy of Terrigal. Well done there to Van Dam. Jackson, he's been solid. Is that holding the footy? Did he throw it out? Just clean bowled everybody. Went over the back. White, he eventually gets it. He's got Jay Lewis inside who loves the goal. Goes for Webster. Couldn't take clean possession. Does he have a shot from there? The Elliot Davey medalist. Goes to the far side over the boundary line. Beg your pardon for a behind. So another point there to Terrigal Avoca. They've certainly peppered both sides of the goalposts. Killarney Vale 2-2, 2-3, beg your pardon, 15. And it's Lloyd who's been all over the ground here. Certainly hasn't had the same impact he had last week, but that's expected against the quality opposition. This is Castelnuovo. Liked his game last week also. Drills a pass down the line to McLean. McLean lowers the eyes. That's a good kick as well. Well worked here by Killarney Vale from fullback. Young's got the footy. This is the important kick. Another good use here. Just not manning up the Panthers. Too slow though. On that occasion was Zara. Getting back at the Panthers and they just chop it off a little bit too easily. So Richardson through centre half back. He's going to go out there looking for Goulet and Edwards. Well done, Brad Edwards. Certainly fighting an even battle out there with Goulet, the taller man. Bailey's got it. Halfback flank here for the Bombers. Kicks long down the line. They've got good numbers, however, Terrigal Avoca. Down there first might have been Polglaze back to Richardson, who's had heaps of the footy. Probably had 15 possessions here in the first half. Van Dam goes inside. This is what they weren't allowed to do last week, Terrigal Avoca against Newcastle City. This is a big moment. Great grab taken by Barrett. He played on. That's dropping the footy umpire. Should have been holding the ball and wasn't. Van Dam did really well, but he's got 3 to beat. Barrett's down there. He'll have enough time to get onto his left boot. Lowers the eyes. Needs to be a good kick. Wasn't good enough. They're butchering the footy, Killarney Vale. Away goes Peter Van Dam. Looking for Billins. Wasn't a great kick again from Peter. Barrett's there. He'll get another chance. Kicks it to nobody. And surprise, surprise, that man, Alistair Richardson, who's intercepted everything. Probably the most influential player, or even this bloke, Chris Bishop. Going to go for his big mate in Darling. Beg your pardon. No, it'll be Harper. Must have been touched off the boot. So Jackson just kicks off the ground. It was pretty well done there by Jacob Jackson. O'Brien onto his left side, looking for Bond. He'll have enough time to get it on the bounce with Corbin Bond, and he'll go back to Kirkman, and they're away. Kirkman drives the footy long and low, and Goulet. Has he paid a mark, the umpire? I think he might have. Certainly didn't mark it. Maybe it was a free kick. So John O'Goulet here has it. He's giving all the impressions he's going to have a shot, and I can feel the breeze. I'm sure that's coming towards us from right to left.
Yeah, it feels like it.
So John O'Goulet. This to give Terrigal Avoca a very handy lead hanging into half-time. Yet to hit the scoreboard. It's a lovely looking drop punt. Does it have the accuracy? It stays in play. Eventually gets tapped over the line for another behind. And that'll be half-time here at Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground. And I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly. I think I might be. 4 goals, 13, 37, Terrigal Avoca. 4 goals, 13, 37. Killarney Vale are 2, 3, 15. So a very handy lead here for the minor premiers. Let's just look at the goal kickers at half-time, Nathan.
So for Terrigal Avoca, Jack Grimman has kicked 2 and singles to Peter Van Dam and Sam O'Brien. And to Killarney Vale, we have singles to Daniel Lloyd and Sean Sinclair.
So a good game of footy this one. Certainly Terrigal Avoca on top all around the ground and on the scoreboard. Who's going to make it through to the grand final to face Newcastle City? We'll be back in about 20 minutes for second half action.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. The Entertainment Grounds Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse riding. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Macua Coinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort. Macua Coinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax or play and stay. Pullman Resorts Magenta Shores Resort. Pullman Magenta Shores Resort has 5-star resort-style amenities that make the most of our oceanfront setting and has been designed to offer the Central Coast travellers everything required for a productive Central Coast business trip, an unforgettable family vacation, or a relaxing weekend getaway. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Bar TV. Bar TV brings local grassroots sports and events to your internet screen or a pub and club near you.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is car 33. I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Just about ready for a start here in the third term. Killarney Vale with all the work to do. Currently trailing by 22 points here at half-time. After a very inaccurate first half for the Panthers, they kicked 4 goals, 13 behinds in comparison to Killarney Vale's 2-3. Certainly looking the better side, Terrigal Avoca. A little bit quicker, a little bit more classy with their skills on the outside. Killarney Vale need to find a few more avenues to goal as we look down now and see McVeigh go to full forward. Also down there is Daly, and it's going to be Daniel Lloyd again lining up in the middle up against Webster. So this will be a really good contest. Away we go again in the second half. Harper, he'd brained them in the first half in the ruck, and he looks to do it again. Lloyd was hit hard. Mumford was there. Bond put his head over the foot. He did really well, Corbin Bond. And much like a lot of the first half was played, we're going to have another stoppage, Nathan.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't expect anything less from these two sides. Coming out again, hard, fierce.
Exactly right. Van Dam, little kick off the ground. Grimman put his head over the footy. Couple of goals to Jackie Grimman in the first half. Just having a look for Brendan Lewis. There he is at centre half back, so he's back on the ground after a knock. Another convincing tap to Harper. He's racked well, and a terrific tackle from Grimman. Lloyd put his head over the footy. Yeah, eventually comes out to Bishop, who's a left footer. Classy kick. On his wrong side, hit Peter Van Dam, who I think already...
Yeah, he's already got one.
Has the 1 goal to his name. And this one goes through the big sticks. It's going to make it very hard for the Bombers.
Yeah, no, it'll get Terrigal off to a great start in this third quarter. As we know, third quarter's the premiership quarter where games can be won and lost. Good-looking kick off the boot, and it's gone through for a goal.
So Terrigal, they have 1 foot in the grand final already. They kick ahead here at number 1. 43 now plays 15, and they're up and about.
Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel, and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years.
So Lloyd stays in the middle of the ground, as does Castelnuovo. Higgins doing the ruck work. And also Sinclair in there. Harper again, just having it all his own way down there. Sinclair tried to get a hand to it. Now Daniel Lloyd backs himself. Puts the ball under his arm. It's a beautiful kick, but Jimmy Hart, probably the most underrated backman in the competition, stuck the left hand out there in front of, might have been Young or I think it was Daly. Forced the spoil, did really well. The kick was from Lloyd was superb. They always are. Ireland now doing the ruck work. Takes possession. Ball stays in play. Castelnuovo now tackled by Bishop. Tackling pressure superb from Terrigal. Well, from both sides. Van Dam this time with the big ruck tap. Castelnuovo, handball into Sinclair. Tackled immediately. Polglaze, Richardson, back out. Bishop threw it on the left boot, and they're out of danger. Just into the middle of the ground to no one in particular. There is Mumford. Clever handball out the back to Lewis. Brendan Lewis backs himself, tucks the footy under his arm. Can't really penetrate the kick. Worked under the ball. There was Damon Smith by Mark McVeigh. Was tackled immediately. Holding the ball. Well done there, Jason Van Dam against the Essendon champ. Kicks it out further wide. The kick let him down.
An absolutely great tackle there from Van Dam.
Tell you what, I've given Jason Van Dam a lot of stick about his kicking. 2015, it's been the year of his left boot. And nothing's changed with his technique either. So boundary throwing out on that far wing. Down there, Sinclair. Threw it on the left boot. And Ireland marked it. In that breeze, you'd think he's going to be too far out to score. I haven't seen a kick carry from that part of the ground yet.
Yeah, no, it'll be a tough kick considering they'll be kicking from about 54, 55 metres out. We'll need a long boot on this one.
And from what we think, it's going to be into the breeze. So the champ Ireland gives it a good roost. Has it got the legs? Jackson Island, it does, but it misses to the near side. Killarney Vale's first score of the quarter is a behind.
With a wet footy, that was an absolute monster of a kick.
Very good player, Jackson Island. Saw him rock up about 10 minutes before the first siren, chucked the boots on, and away he went. It's going to be Coach Bishop here. Terrigal starting with the 2 huddles. He's got Hart out here on his own for miles. He's going to go up the middle of the ground. He misses his intended target. Doing well was Billings. He just threw it on the boot. Jackson's down there. Grimmond. He could give a little handball off here, Grimmond. Already kicked a couple of goals. Was he held on to for a bit too long? Poor discipline there from Killarney Vale. So Grimmond's got the footy. He's going to switch it out wide to Peter Van Dam. He'll probably run with it. He can line them up here, Peter, to kick a goal. Misses to the near side. Behind there to Terrigal. So 44 plays 16. Certainly need to make their move now, Killarney Vale, if they're to go deeper in this final series.
Yeah, Killarney Vale seem to get the ascendancy very early on in the quarter. Just can't put that scoreboard pressure on and kick any goals.
And you can see the zone here. They huddle in the middle of the ground. They lead out to our broadcast side, and that's where they go. Harper's there for Terrigal. Got his hands to it and then took possession again after it bounced. Bounces out eventually, and now Castelnuovo's got the footy. Breaks a couple of tackles. Loves his left side. Kicks it to a one-on-one. Going hard is Polglaze. Josh Polglaze. Jack Grimmond gave it in ball to Webster. Handball back to Richardson, who's had heaps of it. Now the right-footed kick for a left footer. Wasn't a great one. Well done down there to Peter Van Dam, who made a contest. Goulet's in there. Umpire's probably going to have it again for another ball up. No. Now he will umpire Darryl Luck. Great contest there. Polglaze up against, I think it was Mifsud out here just in front of us. Both players committed to the contest 100%. Darling came in over the top with the clever little tap. Bishop now on the left side. Eventually comes out to Grimmond. Does he want number 3? It hit the post, I think. It did. A few of the Terrigal players went up, so another behind there to the Panthers, but it's all one way, and that's another poor kick in. Really making a meal of it in their back line are the Bombers. Little handball was out the back to Mumford. He just threw it on the right boot to nobody. So Ireland up against Van Dam. Love that contest. Jason punched it down to his brother Peter. Ball goes out once more. So we're 6 minutes in. Already a 29-point lead. So it's 5 goals the lead here. Early stages of the third term. Scoring certainly dried up for the Bombers. Bishop went forward again, looking for Billings. Jack Grimmond's been everywhere like an Energizer bunny. Just used his body. Did it really well there, Grimmond. Sensational play, Jack Grimmond. Kirkman has the footy. He's a left footer. Oh, it's a lovely kick, Gavin Kirkman. Loves a goal. Player of the day for Terrigal. Goal to Kirkman.
The McCure Kalinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax or play and stay.
What a goal from Gavin. Not a known goal kicker, but just made that one look superbly easy.
We can see the girls starting to warm up and get ready in front of us.
Yeah, stay tuned in. We've got the women's grand final
There's
coming up after this match.
There's the women's joint best and fairest winner down there. Lauren Cooper, unfortunately, on crutches and won't take part in today's game.
So back in the middle, Bishop having it all his own way. Lowers the eyes, looking for Darling. Couldn't take the grab. Bounces up there. White, he's a paceman. Just boots it up in the air. One-on-one contest here. Goulet and Edwards. In the back, is it? I think if that's Brad Edwards, for me, he's been the best player on the ground for Killarney Vale. He's tried his heart out. Brendan Lewis has got it. Didn't go off his line. He's got it deep in the back line. He's got Alex Bailey now, and he drills the pass. A lovely kick. Drops a little bit short, actually. Ball ends up going out of play. Really liked the game of Brad Edwards down there up against Goulet, the smaller man. Making really good contests. Won the free kick on that occasion. So boundary throw in. Good tap over the top. Third man up might have been Lloyd. Umpire Darryl Luck's going to have it. It's going to go the way of the Panthers. So the goal kicker, Kirkman. Going to go into the middle of the ground for Richardson, who was best on ground in the first half for mine. Not a great kick on that occasion, although Billings makes it look pretty good. Was it on the half volley? Umpire Luck called play on. And we'll have another ball up. A lot of stoppages in this match today. Winner to take on the Newcastle City Blues, who will go in favourites into the grand final next week. Webster just threw it on the left boot into a hot spot. All Killarney Vale. Barrett dropped one he should have taken. Ball spills out. Angus Darling's there. Handballs it back to Ellis, the young ruckman. Sam Ellis loads up from 35. Misses to the right. Another behind. Point there to Terrigal Avoca. That would be their
17th behind.
They're nearly up to 20 points. Another kick misses the target there for McVeigh. Kick came from Edwards. Eventually back to Lewis. Now in the hands of Bailey. So just hanging by a thread here are the Bombers. That's a chip kick over the top for Cartwright. Daniel Cartwright.
Killarney Vale having trouble getting it past half back.
Yeah, they're just hanging in there at the moment, Killarney Vale. They just don't look like scoring, however. Lloyd, he's going to switch it across play. It's a beautiful kick. That's one of the highlights. Edwards went up the middle. Went for Barrett. Had a good year in his first year at the club as Ryan Barrett. His kick was out there for Mumford. Has enough time, gets onto his right boot. Now goes to centre half forward, but it's a 2-on-1. Hart takes the front position, ends up winning his footy. And that's been the story of the day thus far for Killarney Vale. They just can't get it past centre half forward. Give their full forward, which on this occasion is McVeigh. Any sort of chance at a set shot. So the skipper, Jason Van Dam, should they win today, he'll lead them out next week, endeavouring to win his third premiership for the club. Jay Lewis just went with the kick off one step. Jacob Jackson was really clean. And then switch play over there looking for Sarich. Sarich kept his eyes on the footy, and I think that's a good decision. Lewis went back with the flight. Took his eyes off it for a brief moment and ended up chopping the arm. So Sarich has got it. He's going to chip over the top here for Hart. Hart's going to lower, looking for Goulet, too easy. Lowered the eyes, did Hart. Terrific build-up from Terrigal Avoca.
Just completely unmarked.
And big Johnny Boy Goulet yet to hit the scoreboard, the gun forward. Would love to dob this one, and really, you'd have to think now this one goes through.
He has missed a couple of set shots today from a similar position, but at the other end of the ground.
So Goulet comes in, 53 goals for the home and away season. Right foot drop punt, it looks a better kick. Misses to the right, G. Probably today, let's be honest, it's not going to hurt them. You'd think they're going to beat Killarney Vale from here.
Yeah, no.
But next week going in against Newcastle City, Jono, he's kicked 3 points today. Granted, none of them were easy kicks. That one you think is a full forward. It needs to go through. Anyway, Barrett kicks out from fullback. I don't think they've taken an easy mark. Ends up with Webster, who beats a tackle. Little handball over the top. Down there's Sarich. Can he play himself into a grand final side? He might. Another free kick. He's got 3 free kicks today as Sarich. Gives it back to Webster. Handballed it off. He has a shot at the goals. Over the back. Good punch by Barrett. Brandon Sarich. He came into the side for Aidan Warren, who won't take any further part in this season. There is a spot up for grabs. They win today. Could Bunja Sarich get himself into a grand final side? It would be great to see. Another poor kick out there. Well, maybe not the options weren't there, but they're playing in front Terrigal Avoca. That's why they're winning the free kicks. This is Richardson. They're telling him to have a shot there. So Richardson, probably a slight breeze in his favour. Gets it on the left boot. It's a magnificent kick. Has it got the legs? It has! Goal of the day for Terrigal Avoca and Alistair Richardson. Terrigal Avoca now certainly looking red-hot favourites to take on Newcastle City next week, and Alistair Richardson, after a quiet couple of weeks, certainly the most impressive player on the ground today.
Yeah, no, that was an absolute brilliant kick of the footy there, and that goal was brought to you by Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Trading hours are between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. So go down there and support your local businesses. Subway, eat fresh.
Yeah, good timing there as we see the CEO of Subway Morisset run onto the field, Chrissy Bishop, second in the Elliot Davey medal. That's the second time he's been runner-up. Just getting better with age is Bishop. He's about 47, I reckon. Anyway, to centre half forward they go. Darling keeps his feet. Well done there to Debnam. Little handball over the top was for Barrett, but they can't hit a target. Killarney Vale. Edwards is down there. Loved his game. Taken down from behind. The tackling pressure's ferocious. Darling, little handball over the top looking for Grimmett. He's already got 2. Can't keep it in.
Terrigal reminded me a lot of Killarney Vale last week. Just that constant pressure against Warners Bay, and it just seems to be in reverse today.
Absolutely. Strong tackle there. Terrigal wanted it for high, but going to have another stoppage here. 14 and a half minutes played here in the third term. Having it all their own way, the Panthers. Amity did the full 360. Kicked it back. Well done to Sarish. Got a little hand on it. Down there is Flint. Handball inside. Jay Lewis was very good. Off one step. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Jackson made a great contest. Barrett's down there. Also down there is Grimmett. He's already kicked 2. Play on is the call. Was he held? Holding the ball. Going to go the way of the Bombers. So they get a free kick here. It feels like the whole game's being played down that end of the ground, the left-hand side. It isn't that a great mark. Not sure who that was. I think it might have been Billins. He goes into the hot spot. Big pack of players. Polglaze doesn't kick many goals, and he won't again here. Little left foot kick was for Kirkman. Did he play on? He did. A little bit too slow. That's holding the footy. Missed one there, the umpires. Amity goes into the middle of the ground. Lloyd's got 2 to beat. Going hard was Richardson. Daniel Lloyd did brilliantly. They need more of him. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. It's a lovely kick from Lloyd. Now Walford. Little handball back. Just went to no one in particular. Richardson might get hit, but he's got the awareness. Kicks it to centre half forward. Grimmon's in the smaller man. Does pretty well. Bishop, don't argue. Drop the footy. Play on was the call. Also there's White with Debnam. White gave the little tap back. Good tackling pressure once again from the Panthers. And Killarney Vale, their one forward attack for the quarter, was ruined by probably a poor decision, but also the pressure from Terrigal Avoca. It's immense. Goulet, the little tap over the top to Bishop. Back to Bond, the ex-bomber. Looks up at the goals. Misses it out on the full. Gee, they look crisp, though. That little handball there from Bishop to Bond.
Yeah, Terrigal just looks so clean and are using the footy so smartly compared to Killarney Vale, who just seem to be overusing it a bit and just bombing long.
So it's a 44-point lead. They're going to have to kick the best part of 8 goals to get themselves back into this one. Killarney Vale, you can't see it happening. Edwards being one of their better players. Little chip over the top to Daly. Away they go through the far wing. Give it to that man, Ireland. Well done, Jason Van Dam. Kept the ball in front of himself. Went with the right boot. Grimman dropped one he should have taken. White follows up his own work, but it ended up back in the hands of Lenson. Now tackled from behind strongly. He's out holding the footy on Brendan Lewis. Tackle was from Goulet, and I mentioned it earlier in the coverage. His defensive work for a full forward is second to none. A bit Buddy Franklin-esque. So off one step, he just sits it up into the hot spot on top of Jackson's head. Going through hard was Grimman. He's looked pretty active today. He's Grimman. Debnam's down there. Well done to Debnam. Just beat a tackle, but then dropped it. On the left boot they go. Killarney Vale McLean. Couldn't take it on the half volley. Got a handball out. Bishop's there, but also down there is Sinclair. Did pretty well. Ireland, some of their better players here. And eventually the handball out. Furthermore, to might be Brendan Lewis. Back in board to McLean with enough time. Lowers the eyes. Good kick. It's gone 15. Walford now kicks it into full forward. It's McVeigh. It's 3 against 1 for Mark McVeigh. Was never going to take that mark. The ball stays in, however. A little handball out the back. They should score here, Killarney Vale. They do. That's a goal. And they're going on with it a little bit afterwards. First goal of the quarter there for the Bombers. A little bit sloppy from Josh Polglaze. Fell down at the wrong time. And it might have been Michael Young, the goal kicker. So goal there to Killarney Vale. Their first for the term.
Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports the Black Diamond AFL.
So it's a 38-point margin here at number 1 Sports Ground. Back in the middle. Darling will do the ruck work for the Panthers up against Higgins. And uncontested, that'll upset the coach. Webster, Bishop, that is just champagne footy. Goes to centre half forward. Ellis just jumped over there. Is that a free kick? Play on was the call. Goulet trying to get his hands on it. Did well, Goulet. Just kept his eye on the footy. Kicking in the middle of the ground was from Ellis, but it wasn't a good one. Down there is Mifsud. Good to see him back in the side. Lowered the eyes. Pretty good kick in the end. I think it was for Bailey, but Brendan Lewis ended up marking it. So the skipper for the Bombers was involved in a pretty heavy contest in the first term. He comes out to the far wing. Good contest out here. Good punch by Jay Lewis. Affected it. Shepherd was laid by Richardson and Josh Polglaze with the haircut and the green boots. Centimetre perfect for Grimond. Wheeled around onto the right boot now. Looking out there for White. Takes the mark. Everything falling the way of the Panthers, and it'll be Xander White The small forward, he's a pretty big small forward, he's a speedster, will line up at his first for the day, Nathan.
Yeah, first of the day. Some great ball movement from Terrigal, being able to find some space in the middle of the ground and hit the lead up on the fat side. And as he comes down the runway, walks inside 50, a little bit of a skip. Goal umpire hardly moves, and he's kicked a goal.
First goal of the day there to White. Gee, he was running in quickly, wasn't he? Came off about 40 paces. Made no mistake, however. And make no mistake, Coach Bishop will be looking around at the side, seeing who's stepping up today and who's kicking their goals, because they've got the 18 behind Terrigal Avoca. They've now got the 8 goals, I think.
Yeah, 8 goals is correct.
And a little bit more
Wilson
accurate
Security
kicking.
is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson on 1300 Wilson.
Back in the middle, the ruck contest has been all one way today in favour of the Panthers. It doesn't matter whether it's Ellis, Harper or Darling. It's going to be another stoppage here. We're into time on here in the third term. Ellis came over the top again. It's going to be important next week. Should they win today? All signs pointing to Terrigal as taking on Newcastle City next week in the grand final. Although we're only 21 minutes into the third term, it's been all one-way traffic. Look at that. Ellis again with the fist. Sinclair's there. Webster took possession, or he tackled Debnam. That time the big fist over the top from Ellis. Getting there first is Darling. Handball back to the left footer in Kirkman. He goes to full forward looking for Bond up against Mumford. That's a good grab. That's a good grab to Tom Mumford, I thought. And he'll pay that mark. So well done to Mumford there, marking against his ex-teammate in Corbin Bond. Lowers the eyes, goes inboard for Lloyd. He's been very well held today. Done a couple of nice things as Daniel Lloyd. Certainly been held a lot tighter than he was last week in his 9-goal effort. That kick is probably a little bit too hard for his teammate there in Sinclair. Ends up back with Kirkman. Richardson got the hands out. He rarely gets done holding the ball as Alistair Richardson. Always finds a way to get rid of the footy. Good grab down there taken by Young, playing on Jay Lewis. Turns around down there and goes for Emmett. He's going to have to kick a goal. He's got no one home. Cuts back inside. No, he's going to switch it. Well done. Over the back. It was well left there by Ireland, and it's Rob Zara, I think. It is Zara. So the man who kicked the last goal, we believe, lines up with the left boot. Misses them all. So out on the full there. No score. It's going to be hard to take the kick in for the Panthers. He's got Sarich on long. Would love to see him play in a grand final. Brandon Sarich. Well done. That'll impress Coach Bishop no end. Running on confidence now is Bunja Sarich. Goes for the little chip inside. It was a good one. Flint's got it. He's got Kirkman on out here. He's going to come out to our broadcast side, lower the eyes and go for Van Dam. The kick just a little bit too big. Need to work on that. Sarich again. He's had plenty of the footy. Now Bishop in a paddock of space. Goes to centre half forward looking for White. This will be a good contest. Xander White won it easily. Grimmin runs back towards the goal. He goes for Grimmin playing on Lewis. Does he get there? Jack Grimmin, he does. Great footy, Terrigal. All the way from full back. Hart to Sarich. Van Dam, Bishop, White, and then Grimmin without touching the ground. So Jackie Grimmin, he's going to line up for goal number 3. Kicks the goal. Certainly impressing today is Grimmin. He kicks his 3rd. And Terrigal Avoca on the shades of 3/4 time are in complete control at number 1 Sports Ground.
The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. The Herald's reporting and commentary leads public debate in the region, and its coverage of local issues from business and politics through the sport and entertainment is second to none. The Newcastle Herald, the voice of the hunter, in print, online, and on your mobile.
So back in the middle we go. 72 playing 22. It's a 50-point margin. They've been a big few wins for Terrigal over Killarney Vale through the season. Certainly looking that way today. Ellis again, he just hasn't stopped. Gets it to Webster. Threw it on the right boot. A bit of a torp. Bounced down there in front of White. Like a basketball, controlled it. Well done to Daly. That's holding the ball. Good decision, Darryl Luck. Advantage has been paid. I don't know if that was there. Now that's going to be holding the ball. That's got to be. Anyway, White just beat a couple of tackles. Bizarre football. Goes across the face of a goal and ends up being a point. They won a free kick, Killarney Vale, for holding the footy. They probably should have been penalised for the same one. They go straight up the middle of the ground. Down there is that man Young again. Beg your pardon, Zara. So they go forward once more through Isla. Little kick over the tops for Daly. Well done to Sarich. Took possession, then handballed. Isles partially smothered. Amity's there on the right boot. Does he kick a goal? He does. Great forward pressure, Killarney Vale. The handball from Sarich wasn't a great one. They respond to the Grimmin goal, courtesy of Dane Amity.
In 2015, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights live and free. Prime 7's coverage includes 4 games every round on 7 Mate, including the marquee Friday and Saturday night matches. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Nathan Tyman in the commentary box with me today. I've just spilled his chocolates all over the ground. Oh, it's
That's
shocking.
all right, mate. That's all right.
It's a shocking look. They don't do that at Channel 7. So 73 plays 28 now. Ellis up against Sinclair. Sam Ellis, what a game he's played. Certainly one of the better players on the ground for mine. Goes in again, wins his own footy, eventually comes out to Richardson. How good's he been? Goes to centre half forward looking for White. He's been held. Great decision. No. It's going to go the way of the Bombers. To the disgust of Jason Van Dam. You can hear him on the bench.
Well, that was an interesting decision.
I thought that had to go the way of White. Maybe he took his eyes off the footy, I'm not sure, but great umpire, Darryl Luck. Now with Debnam. Kicks up the line. His target is Wildfoot, is it? Or it might have been Zara. Umpire has it. It'll be another ball up. Siren will be imminent here. Bringing on 3/4 time. Terrigal Avoca. Firmly looking like they'll be taking on the Blues next week in the big one. Killarney Vale, they'd have to pull off their greatest comeback of all time. It's not going to help giving away free kicks. That one for a high tackle, and it's going to be 50 metres. I'm not sure what for. Probably something said to the umpire. And it'll go the way of Jay Lewis as there's a bit going on. You see the umpire in the track pants run under the ground. That's his first run of the day. Running over into that contest, getting another set of eyes on it. Meanwhile, up forward, it'll be Jay, top deck Lewis. They're setting the mark. About 35 metres out. He's a beautiful kick of the footy is Lewis. Loves the Golders, top deck Lewis. So he goes back. Right foot drop, punts on its way. Just never breaks stride. Dermot Brereton-esque. Lewis kicks his first for the day. And on the shades of 3/4 time. Terrigal Avoca extend their lead once more.
BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions, and the exclusive on-field apparel supplier to the Black Diamond AFL. BLK, beyond limits known.
You see Island coming off the ground there. He's got a bit of a tear through the footy jumper. Probably on the bottom of that pack. Wears his heart on his sleeve. 16-19, 79 now. No, 10-19, beg your pardon. Sinclair in there, tackled immediately, as was Castelnuovo. They try and get hands out. There's the goal kicker, Lewis. So Jay Lewis just bombs it out to that far wing. Well done to Shackleton, read it well. Took the chest mark going back with the flight. Went out further once more. This is Debnam. 28 minutes played here in the third quarter. Debnam beats the would-be tackler in Angus Darling. Goes down to centre half forward looking for Lloyd, but well done going back with the flight. Gavin Kirkman, he'd expect nothing less. One of the toughest guys in the league.
Great commitment.
Famously, in last year's grand final, lost a tooth. Famously commentated by Gary Birkinshaw that day. Watching it from Rome, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, big pack of players. Good contest there. Webster got hands, couldn't take the grab. Eventually came down to Mark McVeigh. Handball back further to Daly, now on his left side. Good little kick, that one, looking for Amity, the goal kicker. Dropped the chest mark. Hart's there. Now the long loopy handball to Grimmin. Loved his game. He's been active. Kicks it out to that half-forward flank. Corbin Bond's got 2 to beat. The boundary line might beat him. That's a good result for Terrigal. 29 and a half minutes played here. Siren can't be far away.
It's a rather long quarter.
Compared to the first one, absolutely. Little kick out came from Mifsud, and that'll do it for three-quarter time. So Terrigal Avoca, 10-19, 79. Killarney Vale, 4-4-28. The Panthers with 1 foot in the grand final. Goal kickers, please, Nathan.
So for Terrigal Avoca, we have 3 goals to Jack Grimman and 2 goals to Peter Van Dam, with singles to Gavin Kirkman, Jay Lewis, Alexander White, Sam O'Brien and Alistair Richardson. And for Killarney Vale, we have all singles to Daniel Lloyd, Dane Emedy, Sean Sinclair and Robert Zara. And we will join you back for the start of the fourth quarter shortly.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. The Entertainment Grounds Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse riding. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Macua Cowinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort. Macua Cowinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax or play and stay. Pullman Resorts Magenta Shores Resort. Pullman Magenta Shores Resort has 5-star resort-style amenities that make the most of our oceanfront setting and has been designed to offer the Central Coast travellers everything required for a productive Central Coast business trip, an unforgettable family vacation, or a relaxing weekend getaway. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Bar TV. Bar TV brings local grassroots sports and events to your internet screen or a pub and club near you.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is car 33. I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Stay tuned. Coming up is the women's grand final. Nelson Bay taking on Newcastle City. And we're a start here in the final term. Terrigal Avoca well in control, and it's Harper again who wins the ruck contest. Down to Bishop, who's been superb. Lloyd's played the majority of the day in the midfield. He's tried hard. Comes out to Jason Van Dam, who just stuck the left boot out there. Probably had a better drop punt rotation than most of his intended kicks. Going hard down there was Amity. Did really well to Drano Amity. Dropped the footy in the end. That's got to be holding the ball. Play on was the call. At the bottom of that, Pax Webster. Got a little left-handed handball out to Damon Smith, who got onto his left side. Damo went over the head down there of Cartwright, I think it was. Eventually to Barrett. Little underground handball. Went to, might have been the ruckman Higgins. He went into the middle of the ground. Bishop off the ground again. Look at Bishop go. Look at the pace of the 49-year-old. Comes back to Sinclair. He's actually 32, I think. Drills it into the middle of the ground. And I reckon that's Rob Zara in the middle of the turf. Goes to centre half forward. Flying high is Toppy Lewis. He'll replay that one. 55 seconds into the last quarter top. Oh, don't replay that, mate. Kicks it straight to the man on the mark. Go to the bottom of the packs. Lloyd. Harper. Lewis again. Straight up in the air. It'll bounce in front of Bailey. Down there's Bishop. Affected the tackle, did pretty well. Bunjasari should love to play in a grand final. Barrett's in there. Bishop again, left-handed handball over the top. Getting there first will be McVeigh, and now Barrett. He'll want his left side. Played pretty well as Barrett. Goes to centre half forward. It was a tumbly sort of kick. Ended up finding Mifsud. So Mifsud, he's just going to go for goal. Vacant goal square. He's tugged it a little bit to the left. Misses to the near side. So, Terrigal Avoca win today. Do they go in unchanged? A big hello up to Jimmy Polglaze on Hamilton Island. He's expected to come back into the side, the number one. Distinguished player. Certainly you'd have him in your best 22. Who goes out?
Interesting time to have a holiday.
Yeah, it is, mate. He's up there on extended leave, enjoying himself. Also good mate Matt Cilia, who he's probably longer odds to get a game next week, Matty Cilia. Dare I say he's probably enjoying himself a little bit too much. Anyway, Billings has got it at centre half back. Little chip over the top for Hart. Did he take a one-hander then, a slips catch?
Good grab.
Fantastic grab. So Hart goes a little further wide to O'Brien. Sam O'Brien drills the pass looking for Webster. It's a lovely kick. And Webster, you'd probably say a little bit too far out to score. A very long, accurate kick of the footy, but even this distance might test the Elliot Davey medalist.
The angle's quite tough, and we've seen a lot of players spray the ball to both the left and right side from this pocket, so it'll be an interesting kick as he comes down the runway.
So you kick it right from the paint, Webster. It looks like he's got the distance as he tugged it a little bit. I think he has to the near side. One behind there, another one to the Panthers, so I think that might be number 20 for the day. Behinds, that is. Certainly next week against Newcastle City, you know, Jackson, Goulet, Webster's going to spend a lot of time up forward. Darling, they need to be kicking their goals, Nathan.
Yeah, you can't be inaccurate in any game of football, let alone a grand final.
No doubt Polly will come back from Hamilton Island. He'll kick 6 straight. He doesn't miss. Brendan Lewis, big punch came from Harper. Eventually ends up in the hands of Damon Smith, who ended up going to ground, which you don't see very often. Umpire's going to have it ball up out on that far wing. In front of the scoreboard here, in the shades of the afternoon at number 1 Sports Ground. It's a little soggy underfoot. Hopefully good weather through the week will make it a dry deck. Goulet gave it back to Billings. He just kicked it into the hot spot, and that is champagne footy from the Panthers. Sensational handball from Goulet to Billings, and the kick was spot on. And Xander White, you'd think he's a certainty now to play next week.
Yeah, no, that's a great kick of the footy. I've just noticed that Daniel Lloyd has actually come off the ground holding his arm, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, that'll do him for the day. Certainly you wouldn't want to risk anything for next season. They're not going to win this match today, Killarney Vale. No real point in putting him back onto the ground. So White, just a little right foot chip kick, kicks the goal. They get around him. White kicks his second for the day. Terrigal Avoca continue on their merry way.
Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. For all the latest news and promotions, visit 16s.com.au or find them on Facebook.
Good goal there to White.
it's going to be a very interesting grand final week next week. Newcastle City with a team in a grand final in all 4 grades, including the women's. And Terrigal playing off against Newcastle in both Black Diamond Cup and First Division.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Newcastle City. They'll finish first or last during the home and away. When it comes to August, September, they always turn up. They're just a big, physical, skillful football team. And I think fairly they'll start favourites next week after beating Terrigal. Avoca all ends up last week here at number 1. Might be Lenson there with the footy, the young ruckman. He's going to drive it long to full forward. It's a 1-on-1 down there. Shackleton was playing from behind. Eventually ends up in the hands of a Panther. And one Gavin Kirkman rushes the behind. Sam O'Brien, loved the way he started the game. Real barometer for the Panthers. They love him. As they do that bloke. Big JVD. Probably the one bloke you don't want to be up against in a 1-on-1 contest. Extremely hard to beat. Inspirational leader of the footy club. To see the Nelson Bay girls come into the sheds for the last time. Love to win the comp in there in the inaugural season.
Yeah, no. Nelson Bay beat Newcastle City girls a couple of weeks ago, so they will probably start favourites in this game.
I'll certainly be confident. So boundary throw in. We played 6 minutes here. When does Bishop put his better players on ice and start preparing for next week? Debnam kicks forward. Hart. Jimmy Hart, sensational. Good punch over the top. Lewis went to ground. Jay Lewis, that is. Clever kick back inside. Came from Mifsud, I think. Terrific play from him. It was, and it'll be Zara, beg your pardon, Debnam, to line up for his first for the day.
And as Debnam walks down the runway, it's a great-looking kick, and he's put it through.
So they're 5th for the day, the Bombers. Debnam kicks his first. It's all a consolation goal at this stage. But well done for continuing on the intensity, and a good piece of play for the Bombers there.
GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the past 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers.
So an even 50 points here at number 1 Sports Ground. Ellis again, certainly one of the best players on the ground. Corbin Bond goes hard. O'Brien, Sam O'Brien there. Darling couldn't get the handball out to Billins. Jackson Island kept his feet so strong through the core. He's Jackson Island. Went out there for O'Brien. Well cut off down there by Brendan Lewis. Grimmond got the handball back to O'Brien. Jack Grimmond with 3 goals today. Goes to centre half forward looking for Peter Van Dam. But it was well read by Tom Mumford, chipping in, taking a good intercept mark. He's not an easy bloke to mark in front of Peter Van Dam. He'll let you know about it. Mark McVeigh's got the footy. Gallops through the middle of the ground. The kick was a good one, but he fell over his teammate. Castelnuovo backed himself on the left boot. It was a good tackle at the dying stage, and he might have kicked a goal. Back-to-back goal for the Bombers, courtesy of Tommy Castelnuovo.
The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse racing.
Big Angus Darling comes to the bench now. Now it's all about player management for Terrigal Avoca. Currently Flint, Darling, O'Brien and Josh Polglaze sitting down there. Brendan Harper goes forward. You'd probably expect him to run out the match. Really good utility player is Harper. He can play anywhere over the ground. How about Ellis's ruck game today?
It's been
Bishop, like a basketball, takes possession now. Handballs out to Grimmond. Bailey, Ireland, now Debnam on his left side. That's a shocking-looking kick. It'll get down there to Young on the bounce. Lewis gets there. Jay Lewis. Richardson, sensational game from him today. Just kicks it up in the air. It does bounce. Ends up over the boundary line, Corbin Bond.
I've just noticed that Daniel Lloyd looks like he's preparing to come back on.
He wants to finish the season. Good on him. Good stuff. Sam Ellis, athletic as you like, kicks it into the middle of the ground. Bounce beat Damon Smith down there. Zara did really well. Went with the left-handed handball. Kirkman like a bullet of a gate. Peter Van Dam was held. Paid there. Definitely there. Put his head over the footy. And Peter Van Dam, he's got Corbin Bond out further wide. He's going to go to the other wing, however, and go to Kirkman. Kirkman kept his eye on the footy, marked in front of Amity. So Kirkman now drills a pass. Chipping in was Cartwright. Did pretty well in front of Harper. Cartwright just went straight up in the air looking for Castelnuovo. The punch came from Sarich. Jason Van Dam was clean. Kicked it back to centre half forward, but the numbers there are with the Bombers, and it'll be Brendan Lewis to chop it off at centre half back. He'll go back out to that familiar side. I've got no chance of telling you who that is from this side. Maybe Mifsud. Anyway, it's now Barrett out there in front of the VB canteen. Going through hard was Mark McVeigh. Good tackle by McVeigh on Peter Van Dam. Now Richardson. Back to Bond. Back to Richardson. Work it by hands. Could be in a bit of trouble. Great awareness from Alistair Richardson. Terrific footballer. He's the quarterback for this club.
It looks like that Terrigal player is coming off holding his shoulder.
Yeah, it's Peter Van Dam down here. Has
he popped it out?
I'm not sure. He hasn't moved it. He's jogging, but his shoulder hasn't moved. He's nursing it a little bit. Ugh, a little bit worrying there. I tell you what, it would take him to get hit by a train to not play next week. Even then, he might get up.
We're about halfway through this final quarter, and it's good to see that both teams haven't kind of put the cue in the rack. They're both fighting hard for the footy.
Yeah, rotating a few players now. Terrigal Avoca. Down there's Lloyd. Oh, was hit hard from the side. Terrific tackle. I think it came from Kool-Aid. You'll love that. Bond's got it. He can play on Corbin Bond with the left boot. Pretty average-looking kick. It drops short of Webster. Mumford took the grab. What about that tackle from Goulet? Just lined up Daniel Lloyd. Set him into next week. We're into Silly Sunday. Edwards gallops through centre half back and goes to centre half forward. Good contest this one. Castelnuovo, Sarich. Sarich took front position. Did pretty well. They forced a draw. Going in hard down there was Jimmy Hart. Superb work. Also there's Shackleton. Sarich goes in again. Alistair Richardson again at the bottom of the pack. Very interested to see what happens with this 22 of Terrigal Avoca. Mentioned Polglaze earlier. He's expected to come back into the side. Who will be omitted? Peter Van Dam came off. He was just holding his shoulder. Clever tap from Sarich. Van Dam's on his wrong side. His right boot. Corbin Bond jumped really high. Got hands to it. Couldn't take the grab in front of Brendan Lewis. Was that in the back against Grimman? Probably a good decision to see it played on. O'Brien goes out here for Harper. Playing on Cartwright. Could have been held, Harper. Play on was the call. Was well done to Cartwright. Now he's being held. Just hunted the footy. Probably been a little bit of an ingredient for the day. Harper now switches play. Goes for Kirkman. Next target will probably be Webster. Or no, it won't be. He's going to go one further to Goulet. He's also got Sam Ellis there. Ellis is actually on his own now. And he just kicks it to him. Waited for the player to present himself. There was plenty of space. And starting on the bench in the team of the year will be this young guy, Sammy Ellis. A terrific first season of Black Diamond footy.
Yeah, just found himself in open space. Very poor marking from the Killarney Vale. He deserves a goal. And he's kicked it.
Goal there to Sammy Ellis. Result well and truly beyond doubt. So it'll be a grand final replay from 2013. On that occasion, it was Newcastle City who jumped Terrigal Avoca. I think they kicked 6 or 7 goals in the opening term. Courtney Knight ended up winning the McBain medal for best on ground that day. Terrigal Avoca responded last year in 2014 defeating this side, Killarney Vale. But you'd have to think next week, after the performance they put in, the City Blues, they'll start as favourites, and rightly so, Nathan.
Yeah, having two decent wins over Terrigal in the last couple of weeks. Well, yeah, definitely see Newcastle City go in favourites, although there are no necessarily favourites in a grand final. Both teams will be out there to come home with the cup.
I think it will certainly be pretty close to even money. Eventually comes out to Webster. Little underground handball. Good tackle by Grimman. They force another stoppage here. Gee, there's been a lot of ball ups today. I'm going to say 40-odd.
Yeah,
maybe more. As we say, the Newcastle City Blues girls go into the sheds. The inaugural grand final for this competition. Grimmett again was knocked off the ball by McLean. Mark McVeigh goes through. Look away handball to Ireland. Where's that been all day? Ireland beats a tackle, then lowers the eyes and looks to full forward. Sarich and Hart down there for Terrigal Avoca. Probably a little bit of lack of communication. Hart went in again. Don't argue. Did he get the handball away? Didn't. That's got to be holding the footy against Hart. Anyway, play on was the call. Damon Smith bumped off the footy by Debnam. Eventually Sam O'Brien comes through. Such a great player, Sam O'Brien. Just gives it all for 4 quarters. Umpire's going to have it again. It's centre half forward for Killarney Vale.
Some noise being made by the Terrigal fans behind the goals. I don't know what it was for.
Lloyd just kicked it out there, and it's probably going to end up out on the full after the big tap by Jason Van Dam. Joshy Polglaze down there getting a rub on the sideline. What about Coach Bishop? Finishing second in the Elliot Davey count for the second time. Both times to his teammates. The first one was Angus Darling. It was Jimmy Webster again this year. And he gets
big congratulations must go out to Jimmy. 3 in a row. Big effort.
Yeah, unprecedented at the ripe old age of 23. I don't think that would have happened in many other competitions around Australia. To win 3 is great, but to win 3 in a row is pretty freakish. Bishop gets it back through the middle of the ground. This is Darling. Wheels around onto that right boot. Now goes down for Goulet. He's been pretty well held. The kick wasn't great. Superbly read there by White. And even when John O'Goulet doesn't mark it, he takes opponents with him. He presents. He gets out of the space. He's going to be super important next week. I hope his kicking boots are on for the sake of Terrigal Avoca.
Yeah, no, that's all you want from a big forward. If you can't take the grab yourself, just make a lead and drag defenders out of the space.
So Xander White goes back here. He's lining up for goal number 3. Certainly chipped in today. Gets awfully close to the man on the mark. Misses that one to the left. He's done that with his other 2 kicks. He kicked those other 2. That time he pulled it, which you should expect with getting that close.
He got very close to the man on the mark, though, which might have forced him to kick a little higher than he wanted. And as we stated earlier, the breeze out there is playing a bit of havoc out there with the players' kicks, so could have been a factor.
Brendan Lewis, no doubt he'll be disappointed. Made the grand final last year. He wanted to go one better. Won't be the case in 2015. They'll regroup as McVeigh wheels around onto his left side and goes for Debnam out on that wing. Great skills still, McVeigh. The kick was for Castelnuovo playing on Sarich. Great tackle, Brandon Sarich. Just dropped the footy cold. Goes in again and taps it out. Well done. Gets the footy back here from Richardson Sarich as he played himself into a grand final. Down there, Kirkman. Also, once again, might be Richardson. Gets the footy back to Richardson. Killarney Vale play, it might have been Lloyd, just drills it down the line. That hits Island. What a kick. If it was Daniel Lloyd, it was superb play. Stay tuned in. Coming up straight after this game is the women's grand final.
The inaugural women's grand final.
Yeah, Nelson Bay will probably start favourites for that one. And that's a good passage of play there from the Bombers. I think it's Mifsud who marked it full stretch down there in front of Smith.
He's gone the kick. Oh, and he's hit the post.
Ends up hitting the post, so...
It was a great effort from there, as you can probably hear the Newcastle City girls with their tunes pumping in the background.
They had the boombox happening.
It's very, very 80s.
Yeah. So Bishop to Webster across the ground to Flint. Gee, made him work for it there. Webster to Flint. Flint's got the footy. He'll just play down the clock here. That's a poor kick. Missed the target cold there, looking for Harper. So 93 plays 44. Newcastle City will take on the Terrigal Avoca Panthers next week in the grand final. It'll be a very close match. Probably slight favourites, the Blues. I really have it on an even keel, Nathan.
Yeah, no. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a game next week. So if you can get down to number 1 sports ground, it'll be just after lunchtime, probably a 2 or 3 o'clock start.
I think it's 2:15 or 2 o'clock. We'll have it on the website. We'll certainly be streaming that game once more. The kick this time comes from Jay Lewis looking for Hart. Good punch over the top there by Michael Young.
And so with this result, all grand finals are set in stone. The teams that are playing will be looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. So now into time on in the fourth term. Eventually ends up with McVeigh. Sold a little bit of candy. Did it really well, Mark McVeigh. They work it forward again. Mark couldn't be taken down there by Daly. It's probably been the forward line that hasn't functioned as well for the Panthers up against Newcastle City in recent weeks. They've been a little bit one-eyed with John O'Gourlay. Jackson Jacob Jackson hasn't had the influence that he would have liked to have had. Good tap in there, and it ends up with Daly. That's a good goal.
That's a good goal.
Really good piece of play. It'd probably be pipped at the post by Gavin Kirkman for his running goal for play of the day. But really good stuff there.
Yeah, Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. They're also proud supporters of the Black Diamond AFL, as well as Waratah Sports, who have been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years.
So Harper's going to finish off the ruck work for the Panthers. It'll be Sinclair. He fell pretty hard, did Harper. Going through hard's Gourlay. Gave a little give off to Webster. Tackled hard by Edwards. Going hard again was Sinclair. Did really well. First goal kicker of the game was Sinclair. The Killarney Vale player could have been held. In fact, it's going to go the way of Killarney Vale. Good decision, that one. It'll go the way of Young. So certainly finished the game pretty strongly. The margin now 43 points. It's really been beyond doubt from half-time, however. Now with Lloyd. They won't be able to go one better in 2015, unfortunately, for Killarney Vale fans. Finished third for the home and away season. A win against Warners Bay, but it's going to be fair to say the best two sides this season are going to be playing off for the flag next week. As Angus Darling just paddles the ball in front of himself, in front of Lloyd.
And as we count down to junk time, it's pretty much in doubt.
Ellis down there doing the ruck work, little left-handed tap. Lenson then up against Ellis. Richardson tried to kick it out of the air. It's another high tackle there paid, that time to Mark McVeigh, who just drives it forward. A couple of one-on-one contests down there. Webster did pretty well, or it might have been Damon Smith. Sarich kicks it out to our broadcast side. Killarney Vale player will get there first. A little bit fumbly down there was Edwards on that occasion. Got the handball away in time to Brendan Lewis, his skipper. Had the last kick of 2014. Kicks it into full forward. Jimmy Hart going back with the flight, did really well. Sarich is down there, as is Ireland for Killarney Vale. Jimmy Hart will probably see it over the line and does.
And Edwards has probably been Killarney Vale's best player down back. Has probably stopped 3 or 4 goals and at least made the score look a bit more respectful.
So for Terrigal Avoca, it'll be their 4th consecutive grand final appearance, dating all the way back to a victory in 2012 over Cardiff. They lost it the following year and then won it again last year. Newcastle City, well, they're a finals specialist team, as Jackson gives it off to Webster. Little kick out there was for Gourlay. Coming off the bench was Emity. Tried to beat a tackle, threw it inside. Gourlay ended up getting the footy back and kicked it to a one-on-one contest. Darling's in front. Strong hands, Angus Darling. Handballed inside to Grimm, and they're running. They've got Jason Van Dam forward. He'd dearly love a goal. Van Dam up against Lewis. Jason Van Dam. He might have the last kick of the game. The skipper of Terrigal Avoca thoroughly deserves a goal.
I'm not quite sure if it's the drops off the roof, but there may be a little bit of rain.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting then for the girls' game. So the skipper, how important is he going to be next week? He's already won 2 best on grounds in grand finals. Van Dam goes back, makes no mistake. Kicks his first for the game. The teammates get around him.
Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Trading hours are between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. So go out there and support your local businesses. Subway, eat fresh.
Best on ground today will receive a $20 Subway Morisset gift voucher. Get yourself a couple of teriyaki subs and a cookie. Umpire luck.
Love my Subway sandwiches at uni. Nice,
Yep.
quick, nice, easy and easy.
Good
Really
spot,
healthy.
Morisset, right in between Newcastle and the Central Coast for all that transport between the two regions for these games. Grand final will be held here again next week. And that'll do it. They're into their fourth successive grand final. Terrigal Avoca to the tune of 13 goals, 21 behinds, 99. Killarney Vale Bombers 7-8. 50. Terrigal Avoca will take on Newcastle City for the 2015 flag. Without a doubt, the two best sides of season 2015. Can we have a look at the goal kickers, please, Nathan?
We have 3 goals. For Terrigal Avoca, we have 3 goals to Jack Rimmond. We have 2 goals to Peter Van Dam and Alexander White. And we have singles to Gavin Kirkman, Jay Lewis, Sam Ellis, Jason Van Dam, Sam O'Brien and Alistair Richardson. While for Killarney Vale, we have all singles to Daniel Lloyd, Dane Emedy, Tom Castelnuovo, Sean Sinclair, Justin Daly, Robert Zaha and Trent Debham.
Yeah, well done to Killarney Vale. They finished third in the home and away season. They bow out now in a preliminary final. And without doubt, the two best sides of season 2015, the Panthers and the Blues, will battle it out for the flag next week. Just having a look at the Killarney Vale side for today, some of the better players. I thought Barrett was pretty good across half-back. Brendan Lewis certainly had his 20 possessions as normal. Mark McVeigh looked really good when he got the footy. Probably didn't have all that much of it. Tommy Mumford across half-back tried hard, as did Jackson Island. And probably the other one was Brad Edwards for mine. Was probably the most impressive player for Killarney Vale at fullback, playing on Goulet. Certainly giving away a few centimetres, but took a few really good marks. At the victorious Panthers, Jack Rimmond kicked a few goals today, was super impressive around the contest. Brendan Harper was a utility player, did really well. Peter Van Dam tried hard. Alexander White was pretty good as well. Jimmy Hart, selfless as ever down at fullback. Brandon Sarich, has he played himself into a grand final? He'd certainly hope so. Sammy Ellis in the ruck for mine was probably just about the best player on the ground, as was Jason Van Dam. Sam O'Brien was sensational, but I thought the best on ground today, the number 25 for Terrigal Avoca. A quietish second half, but I thought he did enough. Alistair Richardson was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
And then probably for the play of the day, Nathan, down here, we saw Gavin Kirkman kick a goal on his left side.
Yeah, no, definitely worth play of the day. He was able to pick up on his feet with a wet footy.
So that'll do us for today. Thanks for joining us. My name's Ryan Webster. On behalf of myself and Nathan Timon, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned now for the Women's Grand Final. Thanks for joining us.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. The Entertainment Grounds Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse riding. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Mercure Coimbra Waters Golf and Spa Resort. Mercure Coimbra Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax or play and stay. Pullman Resorts Magenta Shores Resort. Pullman Magenta Shores Resort has 5-star resort-style amenities that make the most of our oceanfront setting and has been designed to offer the Central Coast travellers everything required for a productive Central Coast business trip, an unforgettable family vacation, or a relaxing weekend getaway. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Bar TV. Bar TV brings local grassroots sports